Is it just me, or are cliffhangers becoming more common? Even when the main thrust of the episode is cleaned up, TV shows nowadays have to leave you that little bit. I think it's part of that whole post-Game of Thrones thing. I'll talk about that in another episode. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing The Flash, episode 23, Finish Line. And of course, like any good race, everything comes to an end at the finish line. Except for The Flash, because we know we're getting another season. If you missed it up till now, we have a future Flash come back in time as Savitar, the god of speed, and in order to assume his own identity, he needs to kill Iris so that Flash can create him. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. In the spoiler section here, we have a lot to go over, from Speed Force explosions to Godspeed and the Flash stuff. But first I want to talk about this. And this is what I call some bullshit. First of all, yay, Iris is alive. I'm glad. Boo, HR is dead. Pretty messed up. But this right here, just, how did it happen? Now, I'd like to point out I said at the beginning of the season, well, partway through the season, this was what was going to happen, but I expected more of a lead-up. Just, yeah, HR tracks him down with what appears to be his own super speed. Is weird, but hey, the facial transmogrifier was totally forecast. And we're back to Iris having written the article, which is cool, except that also means that we're still on order for, in 2024, Barry to disappear. And of course, then we have the whole part where Barry and Savitar have to talk things out, and it's kind of cool to get a throwback to what Captain Cold said last week about being the hero by being good, and the whole speech between Iris and Walt and Barry was pretty cool about that, and Iris being cool with Savitar was cool and all, but I'm surprised more people didn't have a problem with the fact that he killed HR. I mean, it's almost like he's replaceable. Like, there's a time duplicate of him and a alternate reality duplicate of him. And to be honest, for a season finale, I was kind of sad at how much of this episode was really filler. There was no reason to bring Savitar to Star Labs just to have him betray the team yet again. Totally inevitable. But at the same time, I did like the callback to Flashpoint that we'll talk about when we get to the end of the episode, and I loved seeing Team Flash working together. Jay, Kid Flash, and Barry. The only thing that would have been better is if we had Jesse in there. Really hope we do next season have one with all of them. But I want to just sideline into Cisco for a second, because I thought it was awesome. Cisco got saved by Savitar, admittedly, but the other good point was that Cisco then got saved by Gypsy. I really hope they play up this whole there's a connection between them next season. I would love nothing more than for the main heroes to have to jump worlds to save her once, and of course her coming to their rescue more than once. Vibe was already a cool character in the comics, so was Gypsy. Combining the two and giving them the shared thing, pure win in my opinion. Of course, they're far from the only couple on the screen that has good chemistry. I really felt sorry for HR and for our new doctor friend, but I do hope that their loss is Cisco and Gypsy's gain, because I think the two of them would make a great first couple for the show. Much better than Irish and Barry. Although I don't mind, that's grown on me, there's still a little bit of it that's just weird. Now, then there's the end of the episode fight. Well, maybe 3/4 of the episode fight, since, again, this had a lot of padding in it. When we finally have Savitar going for what he says is now I become a god. Wait a minute. I thought you were supposed to become a god because you killed the Iris. I thought you were supposed to be a god already. Did you forget your own motivation? Like I said up top, seeing the whole Flash family run and fighting against Savitar was badass. In fact, maybe one of the best scenes this show has had yet. However, I feel kind of ashamed at the fact that relied on this scene to start it. After watching Reverse Flash run away from this guy for an entire season of Legends of Tomorrow, I feel really bad that after he recruited Captain Cold, he never came to the realization that Cold is a speedster's main weakness, and as such you could just freeze him. In fact, I can't believe Savitar couldn't just use Captain Cold's gun, or some variant of it in his armor or something. But again, seeing the whole family fighting was cool, so we needed to get rid of Black Flash. We needed to at least hang a lampshade on the time problem before we could do it, so I guess all in all, that's just paying service to your own continuity, because we know that the Speed Force doesn't like people messing with time. Unless they're Barry. But then there's the whole Killer Frost thing. and I've been complaining all season that she better not go evil just because of her powers, and then she did, and, well, Julian's been a good addition to that story, and I really like the fact that him and her mom came up with a cure finally. It does bugger the question, though. Do they have a cure for all metahumans? They just need a genetic sample to make it specific? Or do they only have a cure for Killer Frost? Either way, that's something we can explore next season. In the meantime, we have the fact that Killer Frost isn't evil necessarily just because she has her powers, and I kind of like that they finally came to that realization. In fact, at the end of the episode, when Daniel Baker was standing there as, I'm going to call her just Frost, instead of Killer Frost from here on out, although I still really like the name Ice Maiden from the comics. So, Frost has come to her senses, we're going to say. And it really drove the point home when she saved Vibe from Savitar. Now, I don't know if she's going to be back as a full member of Team Flash next year, if she's just going to be a guest star here and there, because there's part of me that thinks that now that she's got her full power set, they're going to have to firestorm her and put her off. They already do that to Vibe a lot, but there's part of me that really wants to see Frost be a hero in and of herself. In fact, in the comic books right now, she is. She's working with the Justice League of America. So, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when shots start coming out about next season. But for right now, between her keeping her powers and the scene where she saves Vibe and the scene at the funeral, I just think they finally did right by the character, where up till now I've been very afraid of what they were going to do with Caitlin Snow. We then have the flashback to the first episode of the season, and that's Flashpoint. Because you see, in that, Joe West shoots the speedster. This time it's Iris. Pretty interesting. After all that time trying to save her, she saves him. I like that. Then we have some happy-go-lucky moments, and things are looking good, and then the Speed Force strikes back, because, boom, yeah, everyone loves a cliffhanger. Especially nowadays. Everything has to. So, all these lightning strikes happen, and it's the Speed Force striking back because no one's in the prison, and Barry's mom comes and promises that it won't be hell for him, and more lightning strikes, which means we might have more speedsters, which is why I say I need to talk about Godspeed, because this happened in the comics. A Speed Force storm gave a whole bunch of people in Central City and Keystone City speed powers, and Barry had to train them. It was a whole big thing. Godspeed was the villain that came out of it. So maybe that'll be next season, although they did say no speedsters. Now, it is kind of sad. In the end of the day, it felt more like a series finale than a season finale. And I don't know how I felt about that. It felt very cheap, kind of. Ending it like this made it feel like it ended on a sour note, although not enough to sour me towards the whole episode, or the whole series, or even this whole season. But I will say that it definitely downed it a little, in my opinion. What about yours? What did you think of the season finale? Did you think that it was kind of cheesy that in the last 10 minutes we had all that happiness just to have it pulled out for a cliffhanger? Did you like Cisco and Gypsy? What about what they did with Killer Frost? Let me know down in the comments section. Don't forget I'll do a whole season wrap-up sometime in the next couple of weeks, and at the same time I also am going to do a Berlantiverse wrap-up, because I think the whole Berlantiverse had some shared themes this year that I want to talk about and touch on. But for now, if you liked this video, like and share it. And of course, if you want to see more, subscribe. I'm trying to build a community here so that we can take a look at all of the shows, books, comic books, movies, you name it, and take a walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Thank you and have a good night.